Hey, it's Bill from Pennsylvania Rock Show. We are in the process of creating a special episode. So I don't have a number or anything for it right now. But we are doing the Rattle Clack Compilation 2020, which looks like that.
Hey, how's that guy on that cover?
It looks familiar.
A little familiar.
Turn your head a little.
Yeah. Wait, it's weird when I'm seeing myself on the.
I know.
Yeah, you get it.
So, Jazz, why don't you tell us a little bit about how the compilation came together?
Okay, so about a year or so ago, I just decided I wanted to do a compilation album with a bunch of the bands from the Pittsburgh area, and I sent out on a Facebook link, hey, anybody want to be involved with doing a compilation CD? And not many requirements except I wanted to record the bands here at Rattle Clack and do all the production, no cost to the bands. And then I wanted to print up CDs and be like, hey man, every band's gonna, if we print up 1,000 CDs and there's 10 bands, y'all get 100 CDs to basically give away. There's no cost to anybody involved. Fans, see a band. If any of these bands are charging you money, they shouldn't be. No, but no, I wanted it to be a situation where, it was bands that maybe you haven't heard of this band, but you've heard of this band. So you grab the CD and now all of a sudden you got 9 bands that you're exposed to, or 10 or however many, so there ended up being 11 bands on the CD. But that was the whole idea. I just wanted to do it for fun. Cause I record a lot of bands here. Rattle Clack is my little AV company / studio record label, all that kind of stuff. So we had a lot of bands that contacted me about it, and I didn't pick favorites or anything. I basically, like, the first 10 bands that got a hold of me were on the disc. It was literally that. I'm a really simple guy. There are a couple other bands that wanted to be on it, and I didn't get a chance to put them on this one. So maybe I'll do one, again, and we'll see what happens. This one took a little longer than I expected because I travel a lot. And I actually kind of put it on the back shelf because we started recording, like, some of the older bands beginning of last year, 2019. And I didn't, it seems like it's easy. Oh, get 10 bands together, record them, make a CD. How long could that possibly take? A lot longer than you would think. Because, it takes a while to record all these songs, and then you do the mixes, and then, I didn't hear I did this. Can I recut that guitar or this bass or whatever? So before you know it, you've got 6 months, and then 7 months, and then a year. And that's basically kind of what happened. And I actually kind of put it on the back burner, and then Shawn Donahugh from Unbroken had gotten a hold of me about getting their track. He's like, hey, we have a chance to have this on a radio station. Can you do a mix for me? And I'm like, yeah, I can. And this is it, I'm going by my memory and it's fuzzy, but I think it was kind of right at the beginning of the pandemic, somewhere around there. And so I'm like, well, let me do a mix for you. And that kind of like kickstarted me to start doing it. So I did that one, and then I did another one. Before you know it, here's the album. So yeah.
That might have been my radio station.
I thought it might have been, but I wasn't 100% sure.
I have to go back and check, but I definitely have it from.
Yeah, and it's a slightly different mix from that too, because I think I did, not that I did a bad mix. It's just like a little, different goal in mind. You know what I mean? Like, because when you're mixing a single, it's like, okay, I'm going to mix it like this. When I mixed the album, I mixed every song, and then I kind of went back and was like, okay, I kind of want them to sound good together, so I kind of tweaked a little bit. So all the mixes. If any of the bands did release any of these, the mixes on this are slightly different, just for continuity's sake,
That's what Eric Rodger was saying earlier.
Yeah, I totally remixed their track because they put it out, I think through Vault Records, and they asked me about putting it on as a bonus track. I'm like, knock yourself out. So I did a mix for them, and nothing wrong with any of the mixes. It's just, this, like I said, this one's a little bit more cohesive for this album.
So I believe you have your partner in crime over there to the side a little bit.
My dog? Oh yeah, Shawn.
So you guys are in Homicide Black and Silk 9 and Half Wheel. Am I missing any that you do together?
Probably, but I wouldn't know what's else is left.
Probably something on the horizon we don't know about yet.
Yeah. So I figured I'd let him talk about the Half Wheel tune. So that's so the Half Wheel tune was kind of a bonus on the. So there's 11 bands. There were originally 10, and once I got doing all this, I had this one song that he's supposed to talk about, Half Wheel, which is for the most part an instrumental band that we do, and it's just pretty much me and Shawn. And anyway, I was like, let's put that on there too. So no more thought than that went into it, really. I'll let him tell you about the song whenever you want to chat with him.
Yeah, if you want,
I can always.
Yeah, if you want to pan over, hi, Shawn.
This is real high tech. It looks like we have a film dolly. Check it out, but it's not. It's my computer just sliding on the table. I can't zoom. I guess I could zoom in. Okay, your turn.
The reason that the background looks the same when Jazz is here and I'm here is because we're actually doing another Half Wheel tune today, and I'm doing vocals, maybe guitar, but probably vocals to another Half Wheel tune today. So it was fortuitous, happenstance, whatever you want to call it, that we're here and you're here. So ask away, Bill.
Well, basically, all I want to know is, do you have an interesting story about the track, or did something go down in the studio that you weren't happy with? Did Jazz screw something up? I mean,
never. Not once. No, for the most part, Half Wheel is Jazz calls me, texts me, whatever, and says, "Hey, what are you doing today? You free? Or tomorrow, whatever? Do you want to come over and record?" I'm like, "Am I playing guitar? Am I singing? Or what am I doing?" And,
Yes.
And it's pretty much, he goes, "Maybe both. I don't know." And so that's how mellow or versatile it is. It's, some songs that come over, I play nothing but instrumental, like melodies, leads, and whatever. Other ones, he's like, "No, this needs vocals." I'm like, "Yeah, I hear it too." And we just work it out. And it's just, we've known each other a billion years, so we almost don't need verbal communication at this point. So, yeah, I mean, this one here, I don't even ask where a lot of the, what did this come from? What's your perspective on this? I'm like, "I don't know. What do you want me to do?" I hear this. Okay, cool. I'll do that. I'm not trying my best. And these songs are just as God made them.
So when you do the instrumentals, how do you come up with titles for those tracks?
I don't. I do not, and I will not. I will plead the fifth. I do not.
We'll do our.
Go ahead.
All right, we'll do our fancy camera pan here. So the Half Wheel stuff started out with
Motorcycles.
Wow. Judas Priest is behind us. So the way the Half Wheel stuff started out was it was an instrumental band to do soundtracks for my bike riding adventures that I make these little movies of. So that's how we started. And then we liked what we were doing. We're like, "Oh, we'll keep going." So most of the song titles and stuff, like on the first album, were all bike riding related. Like keep moving, the desert, because there's a desert scene. Not I can't think of tunnels, mountains. Like just stupid. Everybody's like, "Well, what kind of song title is that?" Well, it was just because of the what they were being used for. The second album, they just whatever I kind of felt. It sounded like like I have a song. We have a song called "Flashing Quarters," and that was because the song reminded me of Quarter Flash, but I couldn't call it Quarter Flash. So I was like, "Okay, Flashing Quarters, done." And then the last album is called Lanakea, which means immeasurable heavens, and that's actually a concept album where the first song starts at the sun and it goes through all the different planets until you get into Lanakea, which is the immeasurable heavens. So that kind of came about like that. The song that's on the compilation CD is a song called Windows that we did for a bike video that I shot when I was in Utah. So we actually did like, kind of a small video for it. It was going to be like a documentary, but it ended up, I scrapped it because I didn't really have enough footage. It's a long story, but everything went wrong on the trip that could go wrong. And I ended up coming back to Pittsburgh after 4 days of biking through these hills. But anyways, we did a little video, and then so we remixed it for this. So it's not the original mix. There's a couple things that are a little different with this one, which that's kind of the story with a lot of the bands on here. There's multiple mixes floating out there of some of these songs. But yeah, and I love all the bands. I thought did really great. I mean, from my position, working with a lot of these bands, it was neat to see their perspective and how they approached it. I could give you a blurb about every single band if you wanted, because they all really did a great job. So,
Well, let me ask you about the song order, because
Sure.
I think it was I think it may have been Eric mentioned that you actually pulled them out of a hat.
I did, yeah. So I did a live Facebook feed because I was like, how am I going to do this? Because I don't want to have a situation where, I don't put much thought to a lot of things I do in life, kind of mellow. So I thought, what's the best way and the fairest way to, be fair for all the bands? Because let's be honest, everybody wants their song to be first, second, third, fourth, So I did a live broadcast, and I had one of my top hats and just literally had all the papers with all the band names. And if you look in the CD on the inside where it has, all that, those are actually from when I pulled
the green screen is not cooperating, Jazz.
Yeah, I see that. But so I basically took all the names, showed everybody live, and I put them on a board behind me and took a picture of it, and that's what's actually in the CD. That's how it came about. Not very technical. but it worked out. I mean, it flows. Yeah.
And I was about halfway through the CD when I sent you the message and said, "Hey, I want to do this."
And I'm happy you did. Thank you so much. Because, part of my reason for doing it is there's so many bands in Pittsburgh that will never be exposed to people that won't cross a river to go see them at a club. I kind of I made the jokes. I don't know if anybody else has said this, but talking about some of these bars and stuff that can only be open at 25% capacity. That's not a problem for some of the bands in Pittsburgh because nobody crosses the river to go see them. So again, that was the whole idea of doing the album is exposing it to other people. And I thought about like how can we sell it and all that, and then I got thinking to myself, I'm like, no, that's not what the idea is. It's literally not about making money. It's about getting these bands' music and in the people's hands. Now, here's the caveat for that. I think that's the right word. If you see a band, they'll give you a CD for free. If you download it, it's $5 or $6. I mean, there is going to be a fee associated with that just because to be on all the Apple Music and Spotify and all that.
Right, you have to cover those fees.
Exactly. So it's very nominal. I mean, and the bands, most of the bands have their copies now. The release comes out on the 21st, Tuesday the 21st, which is coming up soon, or depending on when you hear this, it might have passed.
It will have been passed.
Okay. So, hey, remember on the 21st when this CD came out? But yeah, it'll be available for download and on all the major platforms. So,
and I do have one more question for Shawn.
Uh-oh. How does somebody like me get an amazing mug like this?
No, but you could tell us if you'd like.
Well, you just have to have somebody who believes in Caddyshack enough to get you a mug like this. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no. It's same type of thing.
All right.
I want to know where the whole golf cart thing out at Islin came from, where you get ran over every year.
Honestly, the first year we were out there, we've never driven that golf cart. Ever. Not once. We've never driven. Nor should we. we found it the first year we were out there, and we thought it was hysterical. We said, let's take a funny photo. And it just, like anything else, evolved into, folklore where, okay, what can we do more outrageous this year? More outrageous. And it is never running, ever, when that happens. I'll deny this, and I'll say that you overdubbed this entire thing. For the most part, we just do it that way, and we say, okay, how do we top last year? How do we top the last show? How do we top this? And it just gets more absurd every time. So, we see that thing, and we just like salivate. It's a Pavlovian. It's like, oh, golf cart. Golf cart. And then we just slap something together, like Jazz said, not thinking it through, because none of us ever do. That's what's got us here. So
I'm guessing you didn't think through putting your boot in the garbage dumpster either, because you have to retrieve it afterwards.
No, I actually laid under all that garbage with my boot in my boot. So, but no, we just. It's always something that we just kind of do to break the monotony and say, hey, everybody's having some fun and whatever. Yeah. But
for those of you out there in TV land, I don't know if you can see. Wait, there you go.
There it is.
It's really hard to do there.
There you go.
Like this year's photo. We killed Shawn. They got the chalk line around him. Ralph McCartney and myself were driving, and Shawn from Unbroken Soul were there. And then this is the boot there. We tried to bury Shawn, the body, in the dumpster. We let the boot show. So there you go.
I ate my way out though, which was good. So I do want to take 1 second to thank Shawn Donahugh, John Bashaw, who already jumped in.
Yeah, they'll be later in the order of things, but
where I'm going with this is just letting me be part of what they did
on the compilations.
Yeah, and several other bands who I'm like, ask me like, hey, would you want to sing? I'm like, no, it's your song, it's your thing. Yeah, it's like it's not about us. It's like, go do your stuff. And he's like, well, cool. I'm like, and at any rate, thank you very much to everybody who let me screech, caterwaul, whatever I do, and lend some kind of noise to your recording. I appreciate you guys, and I really do thank you guys. That was very kind words from many people. I appreciate it.
Cool. All right, so what we're going to do, and this is where this gets weird for me because I'm not used to recording it in sections like this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to let these two go, and when the actual podcast comes out, you will hear the song Windows by Hatfield after them, and then we will work our way through. You will hear all the tracks on the compilation, but they won't actually be in that order.
Right.
So
awesome. Well, thank you for doing that. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for hanging out with me. And
I do have to ask anyone out there listening that's in a band that might be interested in doing this for next year, because I might try to do it yearly, because I'm a sucker for punishment. Get a hold of me on Facebook.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and end the live broadcast. If you guys hang out for a second, I'll talk with you. Hey, it's Bill from Pennsylvania Rock Show doing a special episode. Figure out how that works once it's done. But what we're going to do is we're going to talk to all the artists that were on the Rattle Clack compilation, which was just released on July 21st. That includes Royal Honey, A Common Crown, Homicide Black, Union of Souls, 30 Days of Pain, After the Fall, Half Will, Unbroken Soul, Scarlet Sky, 6-Speed Kill, and Among Thorns. In this session, I'm going to be talking to Shawn from... look at me screwing up already. Shawn from Unbroken Soul, John from 30 Days of Pain, and Eric from Royal Honey. but it's real quick. They're just going to talk a little bit about their track, and then where you can find them online, and then I'm going to move on to the next artist. So this should only take us a few minutes, and you'll probably see a few of these popping up over the next few days. And then once I figure out how I'm going to release the episode, because I actually haven't talked to the streaming stations about this happening yet, I'll let you guys know. It'll definitely be on my website, though, and on my station.
Right.
Okay, so, Shawn, your track, Maelstrom, is track number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the compilation. What can you tell me about that track?
Well, it's our second song that we've written on the 7-string guitars, which is a little bit different for us. We've been trying to do some stuff with them where we're not just doing the standard open note chugging that the 7 strings have become known for. Junior wrote all the music for it. I came up with the lyric idea. And we're just trying to break out of that box that the 7-string genre has been in and just write a well-developed hard rock song. Lyrically, it's just about emotional turmoil, and we thought Maelstrom just was the best title for it because defined, it's just a very violent storm, and how much more violent of a storm can you get than your own emotions?
Were there any cool stories about the recording process?
Actually, the recording process went very smooth. We rehearsed the song and we had it down so solid that recording was just really, really easy. We went in and we knocked it out pretty quick. It's always fun working with Jazz over at Rattle Clack. He's such a professional, and he brings out the best in all of us every time we go over. Yeah, he's evil genius behind everything that we've done, and if you guys like what we're doing, he's behind all of it. So he brings out the best in us.
And where can a listener get a hold of your band?
Well, you can find us on iTunes. You can find us on Spotify. You can look us up on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook. You can contact any of the band members, and we're all listed on our Facebook page. And we can get CDs to you. You can find us on the Rattle Clack page. So we're pretty easy to get a hold of, and we always reply very quick. We don't like to let anyone hang.
Cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and listen to Maelstrom by Unbroken Soul. And when I piece this all together, then the next track next band you'll be hearing from is Scarlet Sky. But today on the live video, we're going to talk to John from 30 Days of Pain. And I'm going to go ahead and switch you out. Thanks, Shawn.
All right. Thanks, Bill.
Okay. Now with me is John from 30 Days of Pain. And he's going to talk about, I think it's track 6. Is that correct? 1, 2, 3,
5.
5. Track 5 on the compilation, Don't Say Goodbye. What can you tell me about that track?
Basically, it was written at a time in my life where a lot of personal issues were happening. Kind of dug down deep inside, and life is always full of ups and downs, and I'm sure that everybody has gone through a relationship that has been tormented, and your soul has just been tortured and whatnot. I just basically wrote it from past experiences. Don't Say Goodbye is basically my personal anthem to a love that is lost, and then possibly rekindling that magic. The chorus in the song was actually kind of funny the way it transpired. back in early 2019, over the winter. I don't know if you guys remember that like big lunar eclipse that happened at night. We were outside. It was my family and I, and it was just so funny because of the fact that that part of the song really had nothing to do with the rest of it. It just kind of came out of sharing a beautiful moment with my family outside in the freezing cold. It was like we were all bundled together under blankets and everything. And I looked over at my wife and I looked at her and I saw how beautiful she looked in the moonlight. And that's where part of that came from. But it's something that everybody can, connect to. I've interviewed some people, here and there to get their thoughts on it and whatnot. And there were so many just women in general too, not that guys don't go through it as well, but they connected and they said, wow, this could be the story of my life. And I thought that was just so awesome to hear, so that it's kind of like, whether you connect with one person or 100, it's always great to hear that people, like what you're doing. So that's in a nutshell.
How can people find you guys online?
We're everywhere. I mean, we're Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, our own website. You can find us at 30daysofpain.tk. Right now, we're going through a lineup change. So the personnel that recorded Don't Say Goodbye has kind of come and gone. Steve, our bass player, is still with us, but we've got some announcements coming out soon. We've already announced one guitar player. Josh has come aboard, and we've got a new drummer and a second guitar player. So everybody stay tuned, and you're going to be hearing some major things from us coming soon.
And just a side note, what do you have hanging on the wall behind you there?
Oh, I got let's see. Back there is a 5-string Ibanez bass. There's a couple of my guitars back there, 7-string, 6-string, 2 6-strings. So yeah, this is my home studio too. This is my arsenal. This is where a lot of the stuff gets written, being that I'm actually the sole songwriter for 30 Days of Pain. So
do you work out the guitar and the bass parts and then take it to the band usually?
Yeah, actually I do. I work out everything, all the melodies, all the lyrics, the guitar, drum, and bass lines, and then I give it to them. And most of the time, I don't have the solos worked out per se, so I'm like, here you have carte blanche with this. But everything else is kind of like, I wouldn't say it's completely set in stone, but it's nice to have a working demo, and then I present it to them, and they kind of put their little spin on it and tweak it here and there. And obviously, some things come out better. Just like Don't Say Goodbye, when we were recording, over with Jazz, Nestor happened to be there that day too. And I wanted some backing vocals in it, and I knew some of the guys in the band at the time couldn't hit those. And I basically begged Shawn. I begged Shawn. I was like, please, man, I know that you can put your spin on this. And him and I both busted out the backing vocals as well. And it just came out phenomenal. I'm so pleased with what we did.
Shawn can definitely go high.
Yes, he can.
So we're actually waiting for Eric Rodger from Royal Honey to pop in. And I just want to out him while we're waiting. We're waiting because his hair is still wet.
Typical rock star.
So I told him to get a hairdryer, and he said he doesn't own one.
Tell him go outside for 5 minutes, although it'll be frizzy after
that. I don't have that issue at all.
I did about 20 years ago. I had it down to the middle of my back, so
Mine won't go long. It just starts curling, and then the top there's nothing, so it looks terrible. But I was gonna see if Shawn wanted to pop back in, but his video went away, so I don't know if he's actually there still. Oh, there he is. We'll add him.
Yeah, I'm still here.
There you go. So while we're waiting for Eric to join us. What do you guys have anything going on band wise? I know it's hard to play out right now, but is there anything behind the scenes going on?
Well, when we were over at Gigaroo just 2 weeks ago now, and we got to see a lot of the bands playing, and it was once again another great cause. And it was so good to see all of those bands coming together and performing, and you could tell everybody was just itching to play. And the performances were top notch. And we were talking with Matt and Matt Ferrante from After the Fall and A Common Crown, and it looks like you might be able to see us at a concert for come Labor Day weekend.
Nice.
I'm not sure which night we're going to be playing, but he did ask if we were interested in it, and I told him yes, we were definitely interested. And other than that, I'm not sure what's on bar for us, because we're just still waiting, like everyone else is, for stuff to allow us to do some things. I don't know, maybe you'll get another live broadcast from us from the practice area. If we do that, we'll announce it and let everybody know.
Yeah, that's pretty much the answer I've been getting from everyone.
Yeah. And John, I just want to say I love your tune on the compilation disc. I thought it was great.
Thank you so much. I like yours as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was. I don't know if you remember, but I actually saw you for a brief second at Gigaroo too, when you were back that stage there talking to Jazz before you left.
Yeah, I think we all saw each other for a brief second at Gigaroo.
Yeah, that was great to get out.
Yeah.
Eric, I told everybody your hair was wet.
Yeah, it was, man. I'm fashionably late.
Oh, not really. I told you 2:20. It's 2:14.
I know. You're rushing me, man.
Well, it went faster than I was expecting.
Okay. How you guys doing?
I'm good. How about John and Shawn? You guys?
We're good, man.
So John and Shawn.
Yeah, we're doing good, brother.
John and Shawn already talked about their tracks, but the Royal Honey track, American Jive, starts the album off. What can you tell me about that?
Well, the band's been around 2 years now. Pretty much just celebrated our 2-year anniversary, and this was actually one of the first handful of songs that was written. So it's been in our live set a long time. Last summer, around our 1-year anniversary, we recorded this with Jazz when he asked us to be on the comp, and we were excited about that. Obviously, the recording session went stellar. It was just we were in and out. It was real quick. Everything was just perfect. And but I guess there were some delays with Jazz and other bands not getting their tracks recorded or whatever it was. I wasn't privy to all the information, but the comp got delayed, and we ended up Jazz gave us permission to throw it on our first EP. So we threw it on this EP as a bonus track. So I wasn't sure that the comp was actually going to happen. And when he started talks about releasing it this summer, he asked could he remix it. And so this is kind of a remix. He mixed both. Both were done by Jazz, but so ours is probably one of the few tracks that was actually released last year because we weren't sure if it was going to happen. And then he did a cool remix for us, and it's just a high energy song. So we chose one of our fastest, most energetic songs for this compilation, and we're really happy that it got picked for to lead off the album. I think Jazz was pretty happy about that too. It was all a random thing. I like the way he did it, picking bands out of a hat. That was really fair. But when ours came out first, we were just pretty elated. I mean, not only because somebody's going to get the album. The first song is probably one of the even if they eventually turn it off, which hopefully they won't do, but even if they would, they usually do get it through the first half of the album or whatever. And so it was just cool to have such an energetic song leading the compilation off. Now that I've heard the whole compilation, any of these songs could have been first. I was blown away. I was actually pleasantly surprised by the by the talent and by the I guess by the strength of all of these songs. So all the bands really kicked ass in picking their tunes for this album, and I think it's just a really strong compilation. Sometimes you really don't know what to expect when you don't know all the other bands and all the other songs, but
that's about halfway through was when I stopped, but I stopped to send Jazz a message and said, "Hey, what do you think if I do this?" And then I've listened to the rest, and then I ripped everything and started getting ready.
Yeah, it's great. And then I think that I think the original slate was for 10 bands, and then he ended up throwing 11 on. Maybe I don't remember if his instrumental track from Half Wheel was the last ad, or if another band was, but it ended up being 11 tracks, and it all just worked. I mean, the artwork is outstanding. I really don't have anything negative to say about this at all. It's a professional job. It didn't cost us much in the way, other than probably time to be involved in this, and the upside is just phenomenal. So the whole experience was just I'm just so grateful to have been part of this, because opportunities like this don't come around a lot, and the timing of this coming, actually, I mean, the delay, usually delays aren't good, but the delay for this was actually pretty spot on, because what else is going on now? Nobody's playing. We're in the middle of a pandemic. We're all sitting at home, maybe practicing at most. I know the Gigaroo just happened, but that's one of the few shows that's going on. We haven't played since March 7th. So this compilation coming out, in this time frame is not only great, but it's absolutely necessary right now to keep anybody in the spotlight, and I'm happy to be part of that, and keeps all of our names out there. And then we are playing the Rock for Life next month, August. I think we're on the bill August 8th. It's Saturday during the day, and we'll be giving these compilations away, that whole show. So anybody who's watching this broadcast, please come out to that. It's August 7th and 8th up at Iceland Field.
It's $20, 2 nights. It includes camping. There's food trucks there. It's BYOB. I think I will be there. I haven't missed one since I didn't go to the first 2, and I've been to every other one. So the chances are pretty good that I will be there at least for a little while.
Good.
So real quick, Eric, where can the listeners find you guys online?
We're at a couple of places. We have our own website. It's royalhoneyband.com, and you could probably speak to that a little bit, Bill, since you're the developer of that site for us. We're selling some merch from that site as well. It's probably about the only thing keeping us going right now, and being able to keep the lights on and the rent paid for the rehearsal studio. So that's royalhoneyband.com. We also have, and all the music's there as well. And if you buy the CD, either in digital or physical format from that CD, we get all the proceeds from there. We're also on Bandcamp like everyone else. They take a pretty good chunk if it's not on one of their free days. But that is just royalhoney.bandcamp.com. And then our Facebook page is facebook.com/royalhoneypgh for Royal Honey Pittsburgh. I don't know if you want me to type all these up and give them to you later, Bill, or what, but
I'm going to include them in the show notes.
Yeah, those are pretty much the 3 ways. We appreciate all the likes on the Facebook page. We've got links to our YouTube channel from there, as well as over from our direct website. We've got,
and on the EPK and
yep, the EPK that you did for us, and then we've got a couple of videos out there as well now. We shot one video it was shot over 3 different national shows that we did, 2 at Jurgles and 1 at the Craft House, and we had them professionally recorded. And just back in May, I think we released the video for Dirty Romance, which was the lead-off single from that EP, from our first EP, which is called Hype, Money, and Misbehavior. So we've got that video. We've got a quick promo video advertising that EP, which is kind of a mashup of the songs. All that video again is taken from those 3 shows, the 2 at Jurgles and the 1 at the Craft House. And other bands, if you're ever opening for nationals at those venues, take some investment and put it into videoing those shows, because the output that we got, the final product that we got from those shows, like, we were able to put together a compilation video, one song, putting it to the studio track, but we used video from 3 different shows, and it just makes you look larger than life. I mean, it makes you look like, any of those grandiose bands out of the 80s and early 90s, if that's what you're going for. And then I'm gonna put a quick video together, a low budget video, probably the polar opposite of the Jurgles and Craft House stuff, for our song American Jive, from this compilation. Jazz gave me a blessing to do that, and included the artwork, forwarded me over the artwork from the album. So I'll throw that in there either at the beginning or the end, and it'll probably be mostly our live footage from. We did a show last year at Deutschtown, and long story short, we were supposed to play in the Government Center, which is a cool record store on East Ohio Street on the north side, and somebody complained, and we ended up, again, long story short, I don't know how it all kind of came together, but we ended up playing on like the street and the sidewalk outside of the store. And originally we were bummed. We were like, this is gonna suck. Like, I'm like, seriously, there's nowhere to play here. There's nowhere for people to stand. And then it ended up being one of the coolest shows we've ever done. Basically just set our stuff up on the sidewalk, and we just had at it, and people came. There were probably 80 to 100 people. The main stage had just shut down at 9, or right at 10 o'clock. The 9:45, the 9 o'clock band was done, and we were on at 10. So everybody heard music playing, and they all came down. And there were probably 100 people on the street in the middle of East Ohio Street. So we got footage of all that, and it's not good footage, so I'm gonna have to try to scrape something together for this video, but we'll see how it comes out.
Fernando did the footage of those 3 shows, right?
That's correct. Yeah, Fernando did those.
Fernando of Ambriac, what's Ambriac Creations?
Yeah,
and First Angel Media.
Yep. Yeah, he did it. Fernando did a fantastic job, and the one of those 3 shows was we opened for Kicks last December, and that show was sold out, and so we're playing to 650 or 700 people, and there was nowhere for Fernando to go because everybody had their spot and they weren't giving it up, and right at the stage, and there's no photo pit at Jurgles, so all the footage that he had to get from that Kick show, he had to get from the stage, and so he was just in and out of us the whole time, and he just did a fantastic job. I don't know how he was able to work in those conditions, but I guess it's a good problem to have, because then he's got this footage of us playing to 600 people. So real good stuff. I'll send you a link to that as well, Bill, so you can maybe post it. But
you can do that. Shawn and John, you guys have any stories you want to add? That was no, not really.
Yeah. No, I can't think of anything.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to thank all 3 of you for hanging out with me for a little bit. And when I get this done, I'll send you the direct link so you guys can.
Oh no, I just think too, the Royal Honey tune was a great. Well, the Royal Honey tune really kicked the compilation disc off. I mean, I thought it was fantastic.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate hearing that. Like I said, when I finally got through the whole disc over the weekend, I was just
Sounds good.
Yeah, I was overwhelmed with how good all of the band's tracks sounded and the quality of the tunes. It was really great. So happy.
Yeah, you definitely hit the nail on the head. You hit the nail on the head, Eric, when you said that, you know, you were pleasantly surprised by every band that was on that CD. I mean, I was blown away too. I mean, there's so much talent in this region. It's unbelievable. I mean, I don't know why, you know, a lot of the country still sees, you know, LA and, you know, Philadelphia and New York, Chicago as hotbeds. I mean, this area in southwestern Pennsylvania, even the entire tri-state area. I mean, you know, Ohio, West Virginia, and whatnot. I mean, there are so many great bands in this area that I just really wish the nation and the world, for that matter, would really start taking notice. Because, I mean, you know, just the amount of talent to me is just unreal.
You pretty much just summed up why I started the Pennsylvania Rock Show, so I don't really have anything to add there.
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, people don't know what they don't know, so it's on us to figure out how to get them to know. And I'll be honest, within my own band, I'm struggling. You know, like we've got a label behind us now, and we've got access to some, you know, publicists and some publicity, but I'm really struggling to figure out how to sell our music nationwide. Like I am struggling to figure out how to get it in front of people that don't live here. And so that's pretty much what's on my agenda right now. And if I can figure that out.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys.
Shawn's
Well, all I
lagging
can
a
say
little.
is good luck and find the magic formula. Yeah, if you find the magic formula, please tell the rest of us.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's magic. I think it's just pounding the pavement. But like step one is figuring out, you know, you got to find that pavement. And right now I'm dabbling a little bit in just joining like other national, like the bands we've opened for, like Y&T and Kicks and Faster Pussycat, Bang Tango. We're opening for Faster Pussycat and Enough's Enough this December if that happens. That's October if that happens. And then we've got the Kick show again this December. You know, lined up if these shows happen. I mean, we're excited to be on these bills, but you know, we've already got tickets, and obviously nobody's buying tickets right now because nobody knows if shows are going to happen. But regardless, I'm out on those bands like Facebook fan pages and trying to figure out ways to promote our music to their fans that don't live here without getting kicked off the list. You know, it's like you got to thread the needle there and figure out a way to make the post just relevant enough to that band. You know, like, hey, check out my cool Kick shirt that I was wearing while on stage playing in front of, you know. But you know, like I said, I'm grasping at straws here, trying to figure out how to get your music in front of people, because there's just too much available. People are not seeking you out. You have to figure out a way to get your stuff in front of them. So that's where I'm at right now. Hopefully you guys are as well.
No, definitely. And with the invention of home studios, it's like, you know, bands that were, you know, like hypothetically, you know, say like there were 1,000 bands, you know, X number of years ago. There's quadruple that now, you know,
Right.
because everybody can do it. I mean, you know, it's ridiculous. I wish that there, you know,
I'm not even in a band.
technology is
and I
both a
haven't.
blessing and a curse. Yeah, but that's what I mean. Technology is both a blessing and a curse. You know, it's like I kind of wish that the days of the big studios and going, you know, and paying $300 for a session or something, you know, was still around, because, you know, I hate the fact that the market is just so saturated now, you know?
Yep. Yeah, it is. Everybody, when those were the days, I can remember everybody complaining like the little guy never gets a shot. The little guy never. And all of a sudden, everyone was able to record their demo, and guess what? They weren't all good. And so that's the problem now. Like there's a lot of it out there that is crap. A lot of it is great. And unfortunately, the ones that are great, it kind of, a lot of it gets drowned out by just the sheer volume of what's out there.
Oversaturation.
Yep. I will say one thing that I've noticed in the last, 2 years since I've been doing this again. I've been in and out of music, 2 or 3 times over the last 25 years. But since I've been back in it with Royal Honey, there is probably the biggest thing that I've learned is that no one is going to take as much of an interest in your songs as you do. And that even if someone has put, $100,000 behind your band, they're still not going to care about your songs as much as you do. So, you just have to find a way to get it done. No one else is going to do it.
So while we're sitting here talking, I'm like, man, I was really planning on doing these short little things, but I've come up with a new plan.
Sorry, Bill. When you get me involved,
yeah.
You and I could talk for days, and we have. So
I think what I'm going to do is, since I'm kind of doing them in like little burst sessions, I think I'm going to take each session and then talk to those band members and then play their tracks and then move to the next session and do it that way. And however long it is, and I'll just put it out on my station. And if the other stations want to run it out, I'll offer it to them. But my time slot on the other stations are an hour, so I don't know how that'll work.
Well, you can chop this up and just take the part.
But so again, I'd like to thank you guys for coming on. And
thanks for having me.
I'm going to thank Jazz. Jazz did a fantastic job on this. Jazz,
I have one of those here too.
Just can't thank him enough for putting this whole thing together. Talk about being invested in the scene and just doing your part. Like this guy put countless number of hours and money into this, and really, there's not a whole lot of return for him out of it, other than some exposure to recording in his studio and stuff like that. And he's in 14 bands, and I don't know how he does it. So I just got to give my hats off to Jazz. He really impressed the hell out of me on this whole project, and again, I couldn't be more blessed for us to have been involved.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. And we will see you probably later this evening. I think I'm going to be talking to Jazz and Shawn later. And then we'll probably also hear from me on Monday. And then you'll hear me talking to Bethlehem Monday night as well, who just did you guys see their online release on Friday?
I haven't seen it yet. I'm anxious, though, because their old stuff, their stuff in the past has been awesome and humorous at the same time. Some of it.
They made a video for every single track, and it all pieced together. And in between each video, they went live and were being themselves in between the videos. I watched the whole thing. It was awesome.
Okay,
but
I want to watch that too.
I did see that they were having trouble with Facebook because Facebook muted it for copyright. So you may want to wait a few days before you try and listen to it, because they have to fight that battle. And hey, this is our music.
Wow.
But
Facebook misunderstood it and thought.
Yeah, because they just run algorithms on it. Yeah, and they heard the music and just assumed it was copywritten and muted it.
Wow. I didn't know Facebook did that. I've heard of YouTube doing that.
Yep, Facebook does it too.
Wow. Okay.
Eric, I don't know if you see, but Mike Moscato is in the chat room, and he just said he's glad he saw this and he likes Royal Honey.
Great stuff. That's awesome. Appreciate it.
Fact,
Come out to Rock for Life on the 8th, on 7th and 8th.
Then we'll pop it up on the screen there.
That's cool. Thanks, Mike.
All right, so we're going to go. Keep an eye out later this evening. Tomorrow around 8-ish, you'll probably see some more from this project. 9 o'clock, you'll see me talking to Bethlehem. I hope they come in character. And then Wednesday night, you'll see some more from this project. And we'll see where this goes. Check us out at parockshow.com, buildthescene.com. Find a compilation at rattleclack.com. We'll catch you later.
See you guys.
Thanks. See you later.
Hey, it's Bill from the Pennsylvania Rock Show. There is no episode number for this because I don't know when I'm putting it out exactly. This is part of a series of interviews I'm doing for the Rattle Clack Compilation 2020. All local bands. There are 11 tracks. With me are Ralph from Homicide Black and Nick from 6 Speed Kill. Basically, I'm going to give them a chance to tell a story or a recording story about the tracks that they have on the album, a little bit about their band, and then we'll be moving on to listening to it on the actual podcast, which you will have to wait for. And then shortly after that, you'll see me going live again, and we'll be talking to the band Bethlehem. So make sure you stick around. All right. So, Ralph, Homicide Black has track number 3, Behind.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about that track? Kind of like a VH1 Storytellers.
Well, it's actually the first song that I've gotten to write for Homicide Black. I wrote it like in 2009, and it's I mean, pretty much when you listen to it, it's kind of self-explanatory. It's a relationship gone wrong kind of a song, you know what I mean? Yeah. Just out of all that, just sat down and started writing, and boom, there it was. And I've had it for all those years, and like tried to do something with it and never really took off. And then Jazz brought this compilation CD up and was like, "Hey, you got anything?" And I was like, "Yeah." And we were sitting around his outside patio, and he had an acoustic guitar, and I was like, "This is the song." And I started playing it, and he was like, "Cool, let's go record it." So we did it. And that was it. Shawn came down and did it. And actually, Mikey Mixter wrote the little lead part. And I wanted to get him on it because, he wrote that part, and I felt like he should be on there. So, but by the time he got there, Shawn had already done that part on a out of tune dobro on the slide guitar. So we were like, we can't have you play the same part. Then let's make something else up. And like 10 minutes later, he wrote the little acoustic part that you hear behind the chorus, and that's what made it in. And I mean, really, it took no time at all to do.
When you mentioned Mikey, I automatically think Robbie.
Well, yeah.
Which coincidentally lets me pull in your T-shirt there, the Endeavor After LLC.
Yeah, right there. A little bit of there. I get T-shirts off of him all the time, so it's all good.
I get work off of him all the time.
There you go. Even better.
I run his website, so I get a lot of "this isn't working" or "could you make it do this?"
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you are in a local band or have a local business in the Pittsburgh area, make sure you check out EndeavorAfterLLC.com. And Homicide Black's website is homicideblack.com. That's an easy one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think they're on everything. Yeah, Instagram, YouTube, yeah, Facebook, all that stuff. I think they're everywhere.
So Nick's been sitting there quietly listening for a little while.
Just taking it all in.
What can you tell me about your track, Nick?
Well, we wrote it a couple years ago. Our ex-drummer actually came up with the concept, and then me and the other guitar player, Luke, kind of smoothed it out a little bit because that's typically how we write. Just decided it was a good track to put on the compilation. Certain songs that I write lyrics to, I put a lot of thought into. This was not one of them. So it's just a simple FU rock and roll song, and thought it'd be a fun track to put on there. And just a little tidbit. I tried to get that our ex-drummer to do this interview today because I typically don't like doing too many interviews, and he hasn't played with us since we recorded this song. So we recorded it, and the day later he goes, "Oh man, I don't know if I can do this anymore." So he quit.
Oh,
So I was trying to rope him into doing it and say, "Hey man, just get on there and say every time he asks you a question, go, I don't know, I quit that band right after I wrote that song." He was going to work, so couldn't get him to do it. He got me instead. But it's just a fun song, really.
I know how Ralph knows Jazz, but how did you meet Jazz?
Actually, through work outside of music, through our day-to-day lives, we worked together quite a bit, and we got to know each other a number of years ago. I think when he was playing in Hateful Vacuum at that time, I think still with Shawn, and then
I actually I have some of those tracks on my station.
Right.
We were watching videos the other night of
kind
that.
of kept in touch. And Jazz recorded our first album. Every track on it. This last one, we got in with the label and everything, which was great. But he's got a little piece of history of 6-Speed Kill right in his basement.
So I'm gonna gravitate towards Nick a little bit because I'm familiar with Homicide Black and Half Will and most of Jazz's stuff. It's the first time I've spoken to Nick, so he's probably going to panic now that I said that.
Good luck.
That's all right. I'll just have connection problems real quick.
See,
Yeah.
Ralph knows the types of questions I ask.
Yeah.
We're not going that route.
Okay.
All right.
My question is, where did the band name come from?
We were actually called a different band name for about 2 shows, and it didn't fit what we were going for. And our bass player, Steve, came up with it. And he rides motorcycles. Like if I had to make him choose between riding motorcycles and this band, he would pick motorcycles, 10 out of 10 times. So
probably don't
it
make
was just, yeah, he just wanted something that sounded fast. He's the Ricky Bobby of the band. He just wants to go fast. So he came up with it, and we're like, yeah, I mean, it sounds pretty cool. We didn't like the last name, so we scrapped it after 2 shows. And we'd only played twice, so it's not like a whole lot of people knew who the hell we were anyway. So it just made sense to go with that, and just kind of a catchy sounding name. We thought, not too much thought, just, hey guys, I came up with this. What do you think? We're like, yeah, that's better. Let's go with it. And then I donated a box of T-shirts to one of the Goodwills around town. I think 100 T-shirts of the old band name.
So there are people wearing that shirt, but the band doesn't actually.
Yeah, I saw a kid wearing one at a Sheetz one time, and I was like, I know he doesn't know who the hell these people are, but I think it's funny he's wearing the shirt.
How could my listeners find your band online?
Facebook's probably the easiest way. We also have a Bandcamp, so I think it's bandcamp.com/6speedkill, something like that. All spelled out.
6speedkill.bandcamp.com.
Yeah, we've got some live videos and one professionally produced video via our label Rusty Knuckles on YouTube as well. So if you just search us there, I think the pro videos we got will probably be the first couple that pop up. So that's a good way to just kind of get in and listen real quick. And of course, all the streaming sites, Spotify, Apple Music, everything else, it's all there. So if you want to go, get the albums that way, we also have vinyl of both of our albums. So any record nerds out there like me, feel free to reach out to us on Facebook, or you can also order it on Bandcamp. I don't think I have the newer one on Bandcamp yet because we were kind of letting the label push that for a little while, but I do have plenty to sell as well. So feel free to reach out to us direct, and I can make that happen for you.
Awesome. Tim Doverspike from Unbroken Souls sending love to both of you guys.
Yeah, I saw that. Thanks, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
I interviewed his lead guitarist yesterday, so he didn't get to be in one of the sessions, but he's been in the chat for them, which is cool. Back to you, Ralph. Only because I need you to verify something that Shawn said that he will never admit to.
I think I know what you're talking about because I watched it yesterday.
Is it true that they have never driven a golf cart?
I would say, well, as long as I've been there, it doesn't run. I mean, it's just there, and we kind of hop on it, move it where we want to move it, and pretty much we molest the golf cart. We do whatever we want to do with the golf cart.
Nick, are you familiar with that story at all? Probably.
I think I've seen it a little bit on Jazz's social media about once a year.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the next album we do, we should have just every picture of every year of the golf cart.
He didn't really answer my other question. I wanted to know who had to go into the dumpster after the boot when you were done.
Well, actually, he was all chopped up in the garbage. That was him in the garbage bags. Yeah, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
All right, so last thing, and I'll let you gentlemen go so I can get prepared for Bethlehem too. This is going to be one of my crazy questions because we have a little bit of time. And we'll let Ralph answer first since he has at least a little bit of an idea of where we're headed here. Ralph, if I was flipping through my social studies book at school and I found Homicide Black on the pages about the pandemic, why would you be included in the pandemic history lesson?
Oh, I'd probably be, I'd probably be like the first bass player that got sick and died from the pandemic or some stupid crap like that. and Shawn would be, on a hill somewhere with an apple being like, well, and Jazz would be driving the golf cart over him.
Fair enough. He didn't really give you much time, Nick.
That's all right. I got a good one for you. So in the year 2022, during the sixth wave of the coronavirus pandemic, the history books renamed that sixth wave 6-speed kill because of the high death toll.
That was an awesome answer.
My story is kind of morbid now. I feel bad, but that's the way we are.
Right.
Hey, thank you guys. What I'm going to do next here on the episode is we're going to listen to their songs, Homicide Black's Behind and 6-Speed Kill, Sin to Win. And after that, we will be interviewing a few more people and playing some more music off of the album, which you can find as of the 21st of July, which will be after this recording, but before it actually airs, by going to rattleclack.com. And I believe all the major downloading and streaming sites is how Jazz worded it. So I want to thank you two for hanging out with me for a few minutes. And I will send you a link once the show is completed so you can help me share it.
Cool.
Right,
Thank
thanks,
you.
Bill.
All right, it's good air conditioning. What can I say?
Hey, it's Bill, and you're tuned into the Pennsylvania Rock Show. I still have no idea what episode number this is going to be, so we're just going to go with the flow. We're doing a feature on the Rattle Clack Compilation 2020. 11 Pittsburgh area bands are on it. This has been a flowing thing, so you're going to hear a little bit new today. I've decided that we're going to split it into 2 1-hour episodes. But there's more to it than that. But anyway, so for those of you that have been hanging out with us, and I'm sure a few people will be popping in here live momentarily, with me now are, let me try that again. With me now are Doug Carnahan from After the Fall and Terry Blair. Should I say formerly of Among Thorns?
Yeah, either or.
Terry is the little white dot there in the middle.
Best picture I've taken in years.
Terry, maybe of Among Thorns, maybe not.
So let's start with Terry. You guys were selected in the 2020 draft as track number 11. Sorry, I drew the number.
Hey.
Through the papers.
Yeah, say best for last. Say I don't know. It doesn't matter where we were at on it. It's just the artists that are on that band. It's just awesome to be a part of that package.
I didn't even make it halfway through before I messaged Doug Jazz and said, "Hey, I want to do something with this."
Yeah, anytime you start off with Royal Honey, it just it goes from there and just doesn't stop. So it's a well put together piece.
And had I not known that the order was drawn by Hat, you wouldn't know. It fits very well together. Which is also weird because it's 11 different bands that fit really well together.
I think it's a good indication on what's happening in the area too. It's a good mix of where we're at. I kind of dig it.
So what can you tell me about the song Hollow?
Hollow, I wrote the lyrics to it. Damon come up with the main guitar riff on it, and Kate kind of just brought the emotion and the power to the song of it. And I wrote it in a pretty dark spot, and it kind of just represents on how I was feeling at the time, and dealing with some. It kind of deals with some veteran PTSD issues and stuff like that, and depending on how you kind of dig into it, or it could just deal with wherever someone's feeling at the time. And the words just kind of came out, and I was lucky enough to have some guys that were able to put it to music.
You were telling me that off the air that you're in the process of starting another project. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we got another project going right now where it's all veterans in the band, and we're doing some veteran oriented songs. We're writing some veteran oriented songs, some PTSD oriented songs, some awareness songs, and then so some old classics that you kind of think that when you start seeing veteran movies or war movies or soldiers, the songs that kind of fit into that realm, and the pro-patriotic America stuff, and just basically just having a great time with it. Expectations are low, but we're achieving everything we wanted to, and going straight from it. This project's really taken off, and I really dig the direction it's going in.
Is there a name for the project yet?
Not quite. We're not 100% settled on it, but I think we should have it by the end of the week.
Nice. Are there any musicians that Doug and I would be familiar with that are playing with you?
Right now, there's Kate is singing, obviously. My son's playing guitar. Eric Walker from he was in Gunpowder and Lilac with me. He's playing the other guitar. Our one drummer, he had to drop out with some personal issues once this whole COVID hit and everything. So we've got JC from Evil Bo Weevil and Order 66 playing drums with us now, and the dynamic and the cohesiveness is just fantastic that everybody's bringing to the table. And so I don't think there's other than Kate, I don't think there's and JC, there's not a whole lot of recognition there, but it's just a bunch of people got together that are like-minded and just want to have fun.
I'm going to come back to you momentarily, but Doug, you guys were track. Let's see if I can count quickly. Is that like 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 6 on the album.
Good to me, buddy.
He's like, I don't know.
I know we're on there. I hope.
There.
You think I'm gonna read that, Bill? Seriously?
Right there.
Let me see. Okay. I think you're right. I think that was 6. Looked like 6.
Suicide March.
Correct.
What can you tell me about that? Are there any interesting stories about the writing of it, or?
Well, it's actually a really old song, man. I wrote that. Oh God. I think here. Maybe about 13. No, even more than that. Like probably about 14 or 15 years ago, man. It's been. It predates After the Fall by quite a bit. I was actually on house arrest at the time when I wrote it, and it's just kind of about how people, no matter what, to their detriment, they'll just continue to just self-destruct. You know what I'm saying? You know it's the wrong thing to do. That it's not good for you or good for society at large or whatever. People, no matter what, they know better, but they just continue to just self-destruct, man. Just keep on marching, buddy.
As a side question for you, keep going back and listening to New SA.
Oh yeah.
How did you know that was coming? It's like a biography of what's going on right now.
Well, Bill, honestly, dude, I can't say I knew for sure what was coming, but it just seemed like it was going that direction, man. You know, I mean, it wasn't even just like so much what was coming, but what it is, what the state of it. You know, even if people don't want to see it that way, you know, they choose to live in a, you know, ignorance is bliss kind of mentality. It's always there. It's always been there. You know, it's just a matter of now people are paying attention to it because everything's politicized. And, you know, I mean, 12 years ago, you know, people voted and that was it. You know, you hear some people talk about politics, you turn on the news, you hear politics, but that's about it. You know, now you go to Starbucks, the politics are involved. You go to, you know, Disneyland, politics are somehow involved. You know, and it's just been bubbling, man. You know, so I just saw it, and it's unfortunate. I wish it wasn't right, you know, but I saw it coming, I guess.
Yeah, I don't even like. I'm a very neutral person.
Sure.
In all things. So it's very hard for me to look on social media and see my friends getting along.
I know. Well, people lose friends. I mean, like when you have friends that you've known for years, you know, I mean, good friends, and they're willing to just cast the friendship aside because you can't, you know, agree on politics. You know, it blows my mind. I mean, you go into a bar, what are the rules? No politics, no religion. You know, it should be the same on Facebook. You know, no politics, no religion. And I guarantee people get along, but they don't, you know, they want to talk, and everyone thinks their view is, you know, oh, my view is the right one. My view is the right one. You know, that's why, you know, when I wrote the New SA, it was just, you know, neutral, man. It's, you know, it's both sides, both sides, and they're both out to get you, brother. You know, they'll make you think it's the other side. The other side's against you. They're both out to get you. You know, they just want you to think that, you know, oh, this is my side's right, my side's right. You know, take a trip to Washington and figure out what really happens down there. You'll realize neither one of them for you.
So, switching back to the compilation, how did each of you end up on these discs, and how did you decide which song you're going to record with Jazz?
You want to go first, big guy?
Go ahead, Doug.
No, you go ahead. No, after you, please.
Oh, no. All right. We had talked to Jazz about recording a song for us, recording Hollow for us, and we were going to release. That was going to be our single release. And so Jazz actually recorded two songs for us, Hollow, and then a song called A Little More Human. I didn't remember that song. And then and Hollow came out real good. A Little More Human came out fantastic. But shortly after the release, we decided to go our separate ways, and we were all just so impressed with how Hollow turned out. And Jazz asked if he could use Hollow instead, and by all means, absolutely use Hollow. And it was just one of those things. We were working with Jazz at the time, and you know, he heard what we were doing. It's like, hey, would you like to be a part of this? Absolutely. You know, it would be crazy to say no to it.
Doug?
Jazz just messaged us. It was nothing interesting, man. He just messaged us and asked if we want to be on a compilation CD, and we decided we wanted to use a song that we hadn't put on an album, any of our albums, because we knew we have a new disc coming out, so we didn't want to do anything that was going to be on the new disc. So we just decided we'd go with Suicide March because we never had recorded it or used it for anything. So, but incidentally though, it's going to be on the new album anyways. So, what are you going to do?
That reminds me, I did see that you guys have another EP in the works.
It's done, man. It's done now. It's just getting pressed, and it'll be out after that. I'm actually going to be on the phone with a conference call with a record label tomorrow, talking about like the release plan and all that stuff. I'm talking to the label owner and PR guy from Israel. So figure out, man. Yeah, hopefully in the next 90 days, I think it's supposed to be coming out. So I'm not. I can't say more than that though. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Hey, well, we'll be in touch when it comes out.
Yes, we will. Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely.
So now you get to deal with some of my oddball questions for a moment.
Wouldn't be a show without it.
That's right. You laugh. You should have heard what I asked Bethlehem last night.
Oh, do I want to know?
You know, I'll give you a sample. You know how I asked bands like if there was a apocalyptic event, which one of their songs would survive. So I went into this whole story about that, and then I said, but for you guys, what I need to know is if you lived in this realm, what would your day job be?
What?
So they clearly not familiar with the band.
Okay.
So Bethlehem dresses as
Yeah, I know that guy's the night visual. Yeah.
Right. And they were in character. So they're from a realm called Jerusalem. And they live in Bethlehem.
Okay.
So I was trying to get them to stay in character. And the whole episode, except for the last question, was questions that were
directed at them in character.
Directed in character.
Nice. Yeah, I respect that, Bill. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty clever.
It was fun.
Yeah, I bet it was.
And then the Brutalitas, when he finally got to come out of character, was like, man, my voice. Because he talks in a gravelly voice as in character.
I gotcha.
And Bovice really wasn't talking, so it was really just him and I talking. But let's see, what off the wall question can I ask you guys? Terry would be a little easier. I talked to Doug a lot.
All right,
Terry.
Get ready, Terry.
If you could sit on a bench for an hour and speak to anyone in music history, but only ask them one question, who would you want to speak with, and what question would you ask that person?
Well, holy shit.
I have to put your clothes on for this one, buddy.
That's a tough one. 1 hour, one question.
Yep.
I mean, there's guys I've looked up to, Ian Hill and Cliff Williams and Francis Buchholz and everything like that. Rudy Sarzo, but I don't know that you could ask them just one question. Cliff Williams has been kind of my guy for the last 30 years, 40 years. Holy shit, I'm old. I would just ask him what it's like, what it's like just to do that consistently at the level he's done for so long. He's doing something we all want to do, and it's and he's not doing it flashy, and he's not doing it, some kind of overblown technical prowess with unnecessary notes, as I like to call them, but he's probably one of the most solid ones out there. And I'd probably just ask him, what it's like to do that, and especially in the venues that he's been able to do that with. And that ought to take up some time.
Doug, you want to answer that one, or you want a different one?
No, I can answer that one, buddy. I would talk to Michael Jackson, and I would ask him if it was worth it. If it was worth all, getting into the entertainment industry and everything, and with how life ended up being for him and his ultimate early demise. If that was all worth it. If he could do it again, would he do it again? Or would he pick something different? Maybe be a little more low key. That's what I'd ask him.
I can't imagine life without Michael Jackson.
They just actually added a station on Sirius, Michael Jackson station. I've had Sirius now for almost over a year, and they have a station dedicated to Fish. They have a station dedicated to Pitbull. They have a station. They have right, exactly, but no Michael Jackson. And I've said to my kids all the time we're in the car, I'm like, why of all the people, why not have Michael or Prince or somebody? Why Pitbull, really? So incidentally, they just started this special I guess like a limited time station thing, where they have a Prince station and a Michael Jackson station for the next month or so. Life without Michael Jackson would be life.
I mean, Michael, so many legendary songs.
Right, how many people do you influence?
Right. And Prince too, for that matter.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to figure out how Pitbull has a station to play that much stuff.
You and me
It's
both.
gonna be the
buddy.
same 3 songs over and over again.
All it is. Oh yeah, that's it, man.
Let's see. This question has backfired on me quite a few times, and we only have about 3 minutes. So you guys have to be concise with this. So I've interviewed you both on numerous times, Doug more than Terry, but both of you. If the roles would reverse and you were interviewing me, what question would you ask me?
You go first, everybody. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got it. I would probably, what's the one question that you wish you would have asked to what artist that you just forgot to ask? Like at the end of the interview, you're like, well, shit.
Can I alter that slightly?
Oh, it's your show.
Okay.
It's your show.
So back in the 2000s, before I started this show, I met Gene Simmons. And
Nice.
had I known that I was going to do this, I would have asked him to come on.
You think you would have?
No,
how much you think
No.
How much you think he'd have charged you for it?
Enough that it wouldn't have happened.
Bill, I'd ask you if you could be in any band, what band would it be and what instrument would you play?
Huh. So the running joke, and I don't know if you caught it recently, it popped up again. At one point, I took a picture of Homicide Black, and I edited. I think it was Ralph. I edited out and put myself over top of Ralph. And
bass players get no love,
right?
And I put it was now what did I call it? Homicide Bill. That's what I called it.
Okay.
And coincidentally, I've often thought about trying to learn how to play bass. So that kind of fits.
All right.
Although when I was a little kid, I wanted to learn how to play the drums, but my parents wouldn't buy them for me.
Now, what band do you want to be in?
I don't know. That's tough.
Any band. And it doesn't have to be a local band. Any band.
Man. And my favorite band is Kiss, but I wouldn't want to be in Kiss. There's way too much drama.
Right, you don't need that. You don't need that in your life.
I could see you in cat makeup.
That's funny because as a kid, I did a Halloween parade dressed as Peter Criss.
Did you?
I did, with hit sticks. Those little plastic.
Yeah, with the little speaker thing. I remember those. Yeah, hit sticks. I hadn't thought about that 30 years.
Wow, that's hard. Maybe Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Lynyrd Skynyrd, good choice.
Yeah. And
good
for
choice.
multiple reasons. Like they have a lot of legendary music, but also I could be on stage and nobody would know I was there because there's so many people.
I think that'd be a good fit for you, Bill. I think Lynyrd Skynyrd would be a good fit for you, buddy. I do. I think you'd fit right in.
Maybe not flying the rebel flag, but the rest of it.
Sure.
But hey, that didn't backfire nearly as badly as it has in the past. All right, so I do want to thank you guys for coming on. I'm going to play your tracks next. So we're going to hear After the Fall of Suicide March and Among Thorns Hollow. And after that, we should be hearing from, let's see, A Common Crown. I'm trying to remember who I haven't spoken to yet. Scarlet Sky and Union of Souls. So that's where we're headed, as long as I don't change my mind again between this video and the next one.
Awesome.
It'll all work out in the end.
Change.
But all right, so I want to thank you guys, and as always, I'm sure
pleasure's all mine, sir.
Thank you very much, Bill, man.
Hey, it's Bill. You're tuned in to the Pennsylvania Rock Show, featuring the best unsigned rock and metal that Pennsylvania has to offer, right here on PARockShow.com, MegaRockRadio.net, 107.1 FM St. Louis, Missouri, XRPRadio.co.uk in Birmingham, United Kingdom, RootarooRadio.com over on the beaches of California, and up north in the Toronto, Canada area, we have altrockradio.ca. And lastly, right here in Leechburg, Pennsylvania, buildthescene.com. For those of you, I can hear myself. Was that yours, Kyle?
Yeah, that's my bad. Just check.
That's okay. What we're doing here, this is the last interview session to go along with the Rattle Clack Compilation 2020 disc that came out on the 21st. And you can see Danny was showing it to you. No, that's perfect.
There you go. See? Here you go. And look at all these bands. Go continue, Bill. I'm sorry.
No, it's cool. I was going to do it and I realized I left mine over there across the room.
Well, hopefully you point in the right direction.
I did that time. So each of you are from one of the bands that are on the CD. We have Kyle from After the Fall, Jason from Scarlet Sky, and Danny from Union of Souls. And if you have watched any of the videos, you know where we're headed here. We're going to talk to them a little bit. Then once we talk about the album, I'm going to ask some of my oddball questions that they're probably not ready for. And we'll go from there. So, Danny, let's start with you. The Union of Souls track. I believe it's Queens of the New Age.
Queens of the New Age.
What can you tell me about that track?
Well, I can tell you that we started out as a writing project, and me and Steve, the singer, and we stole some drums from some library on the internet. Thank you, Arnaud Krakkoka from Czechoslovakia, wherever he was, for a library, and we just got together and writing, and it just happened. And then we did a lot of the recording at home, the pre-pro and stuff like that. And then I took it to I let Jazz and Shawn hear it. I'm like, hey, because they told me, Jazz was like, doing a compilation CD. And I'm like, cool, man. I'm like, can I get either one of these songs on there? Because we had two at the time that I could let people listen to. And they were like, yeah, man, you pick either one. And I'm like, so I'm ultimately grateful to those guys for, giving our little project a shot in the arm. And, so that's how it happened. But the track, I'm not going to tell you what it's about. It's, like any song. I mean, lyrics mean different things to different people. So, but we had a lot of fun doing it, man. And like Steve, the singer, we were in a band back in the 80s and 90s and early 90s. And he came back to town. He's like, hey, let's write some songs. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And we did.
Not call this
now the project is, we have Jeff Bansalone on drums. He's from Sacred Dominion, band I played with. And, a couple of the other guys from that band. And, Shawn and Jazz are probably going to write a song or two with us. And, so that's what it's about. That's what the project's about, and the song's about whatever you want it to be about.
I expected to hear that more than I have so far, because usually when I ask that question, I get the, it's about something for us, but we wanted to, when you listen to it, we want it to mean something for you. And that's what the usual answer. And I really haven't gotten that in this, which surprised me.
Oh, okay. Well, but that's what it means, something different to everybody. So,
and I 100% understand that answer. So I'm not going to press you off for it. I don't know if you saw, I popped up on the screen, Tim Doverspike from Unbroken Soul, while you were talking, said he loved your song.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Tim. Hey, I'll tell you what, this album, because I really don't. I mean, Union of Souls. It's like I said, it is what it is. But this album right here and what Jazz did with all you guys, with all of us, is incredible. And like getting to hear it all, I sit there and I go, man, I mean, there are some talented bands. Every single one is talented on here. And it's just awesome to hear. I mean, it really is, man. It really is.
I think I've said this in every video so far.
And Jazz did an unbelievable job, man. Unbelievable job. I mean, come on. I mean, it's just
I wasn't even the whole way through the disc when I sent him a message on Facebook and said, "Hey, I'm going to do some kind of special on this album." And he was like, "Cool." I was like, "Now I need you to help me contact everybody."
Yeah. Now we need it to open up so people can do shows and I can come and see bands play that like now I've just been introduced to. You know what I mean? Like it just it's awesome. What a great CD. What a great idea. And like, man, he just did a great job with it. Talented guys, man. He's a talented guy. So, you know, everybody is.
I honestly, I listened to it and I contacted Jazz, and then the second thing I did was I sent a message to Jonna from First Angel Media, and I'm like, "Have you heard this yet?" She does not have a disc, but she has heard it. But we won't get into how I sent that to her.
Hey, you know what, man? Music is to be shared, man. I mean, you know, I mean, Union of Souls is about all of us. I mean, that's where it came from. I mean, it's just like, yeah, okay. I mean,
I sent it to her.
It's about, you know, I mean, like I get to write and play, write a little bit and play with, you know, the Homicide Black guys, you know, Shawn and Jazz and those guys, and the Half Wheel stuff. I mean, it just, when you all get to play together, that's what it's about to me.
I sent it to her and I sent Jazz a message. I was like, "Hey, I sent Shawn all the music. I'm sure you're okay with that."
Yeah, heck yeah, man, he's okay with that.
And his response was awesome.
If he's not talked to me, I'll talk to him.
So what's happening? And this will be the first video I mention it in. Jonna is actually going to write a review of the disc, and then we're going to cross promote it when we release the podcast and her review. They're going to be linked together on each site. So
sweet. Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome.
So I'm gonna
thank you for doing this, man, because it forced me to go make a Facebook page.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna move on to After the Fall A Common Crown.
That's all right.
Those guys are a good band, by the way. You guys in Common Crown. I got to see you at Gigaroo.
Thank you.
So I had to think about the pronunciation because I was corrected on the pronunciation a while back. So. But no, great band, man. You guys are really good, man. I enjoy your music.
Thank you. Well, I really appreciate that. I was really looking forward to that event in particular this year, because last year the power actually went out, and I was looking forward to playing that event the entire year. And then so the power went out. We played acoustic, so it's still cool, but you didn't get the full, So this year I kind of retained. I held back a little bit, and then like. The Silk 9, the other band that our drummer Matt is in, and as well as your buddy Nestor there,
and Jazz.
Yeah, and Jazz.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah,
right. I mean, listen, man. I mean, with Union of Souls, I was like, look, we had a couple. I'm not gonna everybody that tried to help us with that. I love them. They were fantastic. But in the end, Jeff Anselone, our drummer, the Sacred Dominion drummer, I said, dude, come over here. Because if he would have said no, I'd have been calling Ferrante. He'd have been in like, his 30th band.
Yeah, somewhere around there, maybe 31st.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, what is he playing everything?
Oh,
yeah. He's a good dude and a great drummer, man.
There's a reason for that.
Yes, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, it took me about probably 3 or 4 months of being in the band to finally realize, hey, he doesn't hate me. I kind of always thought he didn't like me, but we're good. Don't worry. So Silk 9 finished up playing. I'm like, holy crap, this is like actually happening. We're finally gonna get to rock and roll here. I like it. So no, I'm really looking forward to playing again. It just seems like kind of festivals are kind of like our little hope. The bar shows and stuff. With the current state of things, it's awesome. You have no idea what's gonna happen.
Right.
So your track is If You Want. Mm-hmm. What can you tell me about that?
So that one was written by actually our singer Jen's Nate Lawler, I believe, 20 years ago. And they've been playing that song for a while, and I think she might have played in another band at one point. But that was actually the first song that I recorded with the band before our CD right there. Yeah.
Over the shoulder there, yeah.
Yeah.
You should pick that up and show it real fast. Bring it into the camera.
We just put this out earlier this year.
Nice.
The Reckoning. staying there. 4-song EP recorded at Tonic. Very proud of everything. That was the first CD I've ever personally put out, and I'm proud of every single note on it. But we actually recorded If You Want originally. That was the first song I ever recorded, like, period, that was going to be released. And then, you know, we went over to Jazz's, and Matt's wife, funny enough, had made fun of me because I had long white socks on. And, you know, of course, out of all the things in the pictures, there was the guitar, the dog, Steve, you know, whatever. She notices the socks. And now there's like an ongoing joke of, you know, don't wear white socks when you play.
You haven't been around her when she talks to the Hilljack, have you? Because you would have learned that lesson.
Well, like I said, I'm still relatively new. You know, about 3 years in the local scene, playing out and about, and I've been in the Common Crown for about going on 2 years now, I believe. So we recorded that, and I remember I laid down my solo for it, and everyone in the room, and this is going to sound very arrogant, but they turned at me and smiled, and, you know, just when the song all came together, I was incredibly proud of it. So we ended up putting that out as a single. Mike Alka had mastered that after Jazz had recorded and everything, and released that, I want to say probably 2-3 months ago, and then obviously it's on the compilation CD as well. And it's a real punk kind of song, which is kind of out of my wheelhouse personally. I'm more of like a heavy metal Pantera kind of guy. So it was definitely out of my wheelhouse, but I love playing it. I love playing it live. I love the solo. I love the way Jen sings it. I do a lot of backups in it. And it's just a fun, happening song.
Yes, it is.
I am multitasking here. I'm trying to. We have Tim over there making all kinds of comments, and there are more people watching than Tim, but no one wants to chime in. So, Jason, you're up next. Scarlet Sky.
All right. So, I don't want to.
I
lost you.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can.
Huh?
Okay.
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
Figure out how to get the
Hear you.
back up. Let me see. There I am. The whole time during that broadcast, there was like 13 calls coming in on my girlfriend's phone. That's why my screen was like going black and going in and out, in and out. And the volume right now kind of went down a little bit.
Yeah, it's hard to hear you.
But okay, so the track that we did was
Oh, Jason, we can't hear you right now.
Yeah, we can't hear you, man. Your mic, got your finger on your mic?
No, they're right here.
Stay up close like that. Stay up close like that and talk.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
not really.
What? So,
not at all now.
Yeah, now you're going.
We can overdub this like one of those Chinese movies back in those Japanese fighting movies back in the day, right? You could just do an overdub.
Hey, can you hear me at all now?
Yes.
We hear you now.
Okay, so you're not going to be able to look at me.
Nope. Go back forward like you were.
Receiver here. I don't know what happened, but anyway, so the track is called Battle Within. I was hoping Nick would have joined us so he could describe everything that he wrote the lyrics for better than me. But I know that it has to do with many different types of battles that people go through in life. I know whether it's addiction or PTSD or just there's like thousands of battles. Whatever your battle is, it's you gotta just hunker down and get through it. So whenever he was writing the lyrics to it, I wanted to try and go like a little bit more heavier of an approach. As the other songs, they have like their own lane of which way they wanted to go. But Battle Within, we wanted it to hit the heart, if that makes any sense. So that particular song was thought out and written. It took a little bit more time to write that one. So I met Jazz through Ash, our drummer. Ash and Jazz are really good friends, which I'm so glad that I met Jazz, because Jazz is such a cool dude. And when we were recording, he helped with bits of advice and, hey, why don't you try, doing a chord like this? Or he really gave his input on certain parts of the song, particularly that song, which really helped it stand out even more than what we expected it would come out. So Jazz, I hope you're watching. Thank you again, brother, because you made that song come to life.
So Jazz, and I haven't put this out in any other videos. So last year, Rattle Clack Entertainment was the sponsor for my radio station. So he paid for the whole year worth of radio station for Build the Scene. And that should be noted as well. He's a great guy.
Yeah, oh, dude, he's the best.
Super cool.
And that conversation happened at the Bleachburg Moose one night. He pulled me aside and said, "Hey, look, I love what you're doing." He's like, "How can I help?" And that's how he helped. And that was a huge deal.
Dude, that's huge, man. Huge.
Absolutely. Well, he's pulling off all the lights and everything for Rock for Life 21 as well. So that's, he stepped in, I think, in a time that, they really needed it.
That doesn't surprise me. That's in his wheelhouse.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, we have a few minutes for me to ask you some of those crazy questions. Anybody want to volunteer to go first? No.
Well, I think you be the test subject, man. Come on, what are you guys? I don't care. I'll go first. I can be the guinea pig.
Don't matter to me.
If you were going to go back in time for a full year and follow one band around to learn from that band, who would you follow, and why would you pick that band?
Cool. If I could go back in time, just 1 year back in time?
1 year. No, as many years, but you're there for 365 days.
Wow.
That's a very good question.
I'll name two: Queensryche and Led Zeppelin.
Okay. And why those two?
Because I love Zepp, but I want to know how they partied and what really happened with Nancy Wilson, and did they really tie her to a bed with a fish? Hey, man, have you ever heard the story? I mean, seriously. Okay, you might have to edit that out. I didn't swear, though, man.
No, you're good.
Okay, but it's in one of the books that I read. It's like, okay, what did they do to Ann and Nancy Wilson back in the day? So, yeah, I'd like to go back and follow them around during that period of time. And because I love Queensryche, I'd just like to see how their writing process was with DeGarmo. And I've met those guys, and they're super cool dudes. So,
okay. Anybody want to volunteer for the next question?
I like that. Don't matter to me.
Okay. I want to answer that one. I already know it.
Yeah, no, that was easy. All right, I'll go.
Yeah, you go.
I'll go. I'll try it.
Hey, Jason. If you could play with any musician, like you get to pick a band to go up on stage with, like Dave Grohl does to his fans, where they're holding up the sign and he picks somebody and brings them up on stage.
Good guy.
Who would be Dave Grohl in that situation? So who's
James Hatfield from Metallica? That was like the main reason that I started playing guitar, was because of Metallica. And I think if I went up on stage, if it was the older stuff, I could probably wing it through just about any of their old tunes. But yeah, 100% Metallica.
Cool. Okay, Kyle, you ready?
Absolutely.
Okay, so an apocalyptic event happens. Wipes out almost everybody on Earth. There's a handful of people that are left to populate the Earth. One song from every band survives. Which A Common Crown song is going to be there to help repopulate the Earth?
You know what's funny is The Reckoning. because that's totally it's a politically charged song, but I mean it's happening, it's grooving. It'll make you want to punch somebody in the throat. So if you got to chase down a wildebeest to get yourself a steak for the day, then by all means you're gonna get after it.
Cool.
There you go. That works.
Okay. You want to do one more round of those?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. We'll start with Kyle this time. Sammy or Dave?
Oh, Sammy Hagar.
Jason didn't seem like he agreed there.
You know what? I'm a big Hagar guy. People can hate me for it, but you know, I've always loved Sammy Hagar. He just has that voice, man. You know, and not that I don't like, you know, DLR, but I just think Sammy, he's a better singer in the melodic sense. DLR, I really, really like him, but I just don't think he has the same power that Sammy Hagar does. And it's just my opinion.
I agree. I think David he's more of a showman. Sammy's a better singer for sure.
Okay.
I'm gonna just look. I love both, right? I love both. It's like, you know, Ozzy. It's like Ozzy or Dio. Okay, we could.
I love both.
But David Lee Roth helped to put Van Halen on the map and change the front man in that genre, for better or for worse, for a decade. And you know what? Sammy Hagar doesn't write Fair Warning. Sammy Hagar doesn't. But you know what? David Lee Roth doesn't write the Sammy Hagar stuff either. And man, you get the best of both worlds. There you go.
Yeah,
clean that up, right?
Let me cut in for a second. Kyle, do you see the comments?
No.
You should take a look at them.
Oh God.
I don't see the comments either.
I'm probably getting so much hate right now. I can hear it. I hope not.
I don't see the comments either, but that's okay.
I can't post it because of the second part that Jen put on it. But she says Diamond Dave. And the other part isn't so great.
You know what that means. I'm gonna go to band practice next week, and I'm gonna get my butt beat by all my band members. They're gonna take me out back and like drag me through the mud.
No, all you gotta do is walk in and go, "Hey man, give me a bottle of anything and a glazed donut to go," and then you'll be good, you know.
Here, I will share this one though. Matt's in his band Hagar.
Yes.
I may have just caused the split in the common crown.
Hey. For that debate, God save the women and children first, right?
That's right.
All right, I think we go one more question. Well, since everybody's chiming in,
was controversial.
Yeah, Tim says Sammy all day. Jen's still arguing.
That's fine.
All right, so let's see. If I went on tour with each of your bands, pick 3 other bands that we would listen to in between stops. So who would you be putting on the stereo system in the bus while we're traveling?
It'd be Queensryche, Led Zeppelin, and Van Halen with David Lee Roth. Hey, coming full circle.
Fair enough. For us, it would probably be, I think everyone in the band would probably agree, Seven Dust. And if you ask me, then probably Kill Switch Engage as of recently. And had a growing fascination with the band Sharks in Your Mouth, which sounds a little ridiculous, but they're really good.
Hey, Jason.
Kill Switch Engage, Judas Priest, and a little bit of Bach, just to soothe the soul.
As in As in the classical stuff, right? Not
yes,
Sebastian.
sir. Mozart, Handel, Paganini, Bach. Oh, I love classical.
Nice.
I'd have to add Iron Maiden and Judas Priest as well. For real, for real.
All good choices.
All good choices, man. All good choices.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No doubt.
So I am going to throw in a plug for this Friday's show for the people that are live. It was with Bethlehem, who, if you're not familiar with them, they are kind of like a band that like their albums, concept albums, they're almost based on Dungeons and Dragons. And the whole interview I did as if we were in their realm.
Nice.
So my favorite question that I asked them the question about the apocalypse, except I said, except for you guys, I don't want to know because I know, because I've listened to your albums, what happens. I was like, what I want to know is if you lived in my realm, what would be your day job? So apparently Bo Weiss would be a janitor. The lead guitarist. And Brutalitus said that he would be a bouncer.
Is he big dude?
He's the singer. If you're familiar with the band, he's a big dude.
He's a big dude.
But so anyway, this Friday, make sure you check out that show. I'm doing some weird finagling with this episode. It will be released on this Sunday. However, it won't go to the radio stations until sometime in August. So you'll be able to hear it. It just won't be going out to my streaming stations until later. So
cool. Very cool.
So I do want to thank all three of you for coming on and hanging out with me, and everyone who's in the chat room also. Yes, don't forget all the CDs that are being held up now and the horns and wrong direction, Kyle.
Ryan.
You were pointing at your amp.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's pointing at me going, here.
I'm trying to put that CD in there. That's cool.
Yeah.
I figured out how to point now. See, look.
I'd absolutely be the worst weatherman. There you go. Everybody. Find us, get it, download it. All these dudes are cool. Everybody on this album is absolutely talented. You'll get the best in Pittsburgh. So no doubt. It's great compilation CD. Thank you, Jazz.
And if you're looking to get a copy of it, each of the bands have copies that they're giving away for free. And you can also go to rattleclack.com and contact Jazz through there, or all the major downloading and streaming sites will have it. I know I saw it on iTunes and on Spotify already. So, and I think what's that?
If you look up Rattle Clack Compilation on YouTube, you will find it.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and cut out of here, and I'm going to start editing this together so I can have it ready for Sunday.
Fantastic, man. Thank you. Hey, guys, good seeing you guys, man. Nice.
Likewise. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Rock and roll, gentlemen. Looking forward to playing all together sometime, hopefully soon.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that would be
down.
Awesome.
I'm so down. Awesome. Let's do it.
Hey, you guys know who you know what? Friend me and make sure I know when you're playing.
Absolutely.
Likewise, we'll do the same thing. So I just, keep me up. I just, and I have some of your music already, so it's all good. I got it.
Right there. He's good at that.
No, I'm not. I don't know which way I'm pointing. My man's helping me. He's like, that way. Come on.
I really got to.
I have an easy job. You're below me. So
yeah, that's exactly. All right, guys. I'm out, man.
Hey, guys. Till next time.
See ya.
Till next time.
See ya.
Peace.